If you are not familiar with Lilith's story, well, here it is. Lilith was the first wife of Adam, crafted from the same primordial matter as her counterpart by God. It was said that Lilith was an impeccably beautiful and well-endowed woman, described as the walking definition of feminine beauty alongside Eve herself. In contrast to Eve, who has ginger hair, Lilith originally had platinum blonde hair, fair skin, bright blue eyes, and looked to be more slender but curvaceous nonetheless. She was also shown to be rather taller than Eve, standing roughly around 6 feet and 3 inches in height. Like Eve, she too sported a crown of leaves, though in her case, they consisted of branches or twigs formed in an intricate design. At some point in time, while she strolled the primeval plains, Lilith met with Lucifer, and the two had a rather amicable conversation. Shortly after, the morning star was admonished by the Lord. During the conversation, Lucifer managed to persuade Lilith into siding with him as well. He convinced her that since Lilith had been created from clay, the same as Adam, she is equal to him and therefore should not be under him. She would be no puppet bound to any string. Lilith was enlightened by the morning star's words. Immediately upon returning, Lilith and Adam began to bicker, as she refused to lay at the bottom while Adam was on top during intercourse, only for Adam to counter her by saying that he will only be on top since he is superior. But Lilith rebutted him by saying that they were both made equal, with their argument going back and forth. Lilith basically demanded equality from Adam, and failing to acquire it, exclaimed God's ineffable name and left him in anger. Adam in return complained to God that his wife had deserted him. God sent 3 angels to take Lilith back to Eden, who found her in the Red Sea. When they told her that she must return to Eden, Lilith refused and blasphemed them, to which they pinned her hands and feet with their lances and held her above the Red Sea. From there, they began to threaten her of the consequences should she defy the word of God, the first of which was that she would be tossed in the Red Sea to drown, but she refused. They threatened her a second time, which was the loss of 100 of her children every day unless she returned to Adam. She again refused and was punished by having all her children slain, though she struck back by saying that 100 more will rise in response. Regardless, she was distraught and completely left the Garden of Eden, sulking in misery and abandonment. After being driven out of the Garden of Eden, Lilith's hair darkened considerably, having a blackish red coloration with her skin having a light brown pigmentation. Her eyes, which were once sky blue, became a dark yellow. Her hair is also described as being the nighttime sky carefully woven on her head, which is a nod to her shape-shifting into an owl, a nocturnal animal, and her eventually becoming a demon of the night. She also bears puncture wounds on her hands and feet from where Sinoi, Sansonoi, and Samangeloth pierced her with their lances and threatened to drown her if she did not comply to God's demands. At some point, Lilith met and befriended an abysmal creature known as Tananiver, who became her steed. Tananiver then led Lilith to the archangel Samael, who was cast out from the mountain of God due to his myths anthropic views on humanity. While he was initially hostile towards Lilith due to the fact that she was human, she stated that her supposed one purpose in existence would be subservient to Adam is nothing but a farce, a blindfold to keep her from finding and achieving a higher goal. She wanted no part in humanity's affairs within the oncoming centuries, and instead would rather be above them than below them. Further going on to say that she shares Samuel's views when it comes to the destructive nature of what humans will bring, with no concept of equality between them in their societies. This convinced Samuel to have trust in her, and more so when she tended to his injured state. After becoming the Empress of Hell, Lilith was clothed in only the finest noble attire, which possessed a consistent Gothic theme, yet demonic in nature. The clothing in question would at times be thin and revealing fabric, usually black or a dark royal purple. Fiery quills of an emerald sheen, along with similar scales, adorn her head in place of hair. And those same quills run down her spine to culminate in a reptilian tail ending in savage barbs. Her hands were no stranger to this savage appearance, and so her 5-fingered hands ended in curved claws. Lilith's mouth bears sharp fang-like teeth for shredding her victims, and her eyes are smoldering crimson orbs devoid of pupils. She was adorned with jewelry that was rare on Earth and only found in the underworld. Her sclera are red with yellow irises and black pupils.